Good morning, folks. It's Friday morning and it's about 6:15 and I'm just about to put my helmet on and head off down to Grafton to meet Phil for a couple of days riding round Sandy Hollow back over towards Gloucester and then home. Talk to you soon.
Look at that view. It's great to be on the bike early in the morning on a day like today. The jacarandas coming into Grafton are looking spectacular. Looks like Phil's already here, fueling up, so I'll do the same and then we'll probably stop and have a coffee and talk about the route for the rest of the day. Had a lovely coffee and a bacon and egg wrap at the cafe next to the BP in Grafton, and we've headed out of Grafton and we're now on the road towards Ebor. I love this bit of road. The corners are just great and they've just recently refinished it as well, so the surface is pretty good. Time for a bit of fun. Just a quick chat with the local road workers, find out what's happening further along the road. That's Phil, you can see up ahead on the first of the BMWs that's going to feature in this film, and Phil was one of the organisers of the recent ride we did to India, so we've been spending a fair bit of time on the road together lately, and it just seems that we develop a flow, which is good. the little town of Ebor. Quiet little town that ebbs and flows, struggles to make a living at times. Very pleasant day through here today, but I've been through here where it's been bloody cold. When we leave Ebor, we'll head up to Armidale, and then we hope to get through to Tamworth before we'll probably stop for fuel. And then we're going to head on down towards Willow Tree and have lunch there. Those hills, or probably more rightly banks that you can see up on the right, are the first sign of the scale of mining that goes on in this area. We've left the mining country now, we're actually into the more natural hills, and the landscape is quite a lot lusher in this part of the world. First water crossing for this trip, hardly the most challenging one that we've seen. Well, we've arrived at Sandy Hollow. It's been a great ride today. The conditions have been wonderful. Didn't get to see very much gravel, but it was still nice to get out and about and see some countryside. We're meeting our friend from Canberra, Jerome, here. He's riding another BMW GS. We'll have a dinner at the pub and a catch up. It's Jerome's birthday this weekend. And then tomorrow we're going to head off early and make towards the Barrington Tops. This is the Sandy Hollow Tourist Park on the right, where we'll spend the night, and we believe that Jerome is already there waiting for us. It's definitely a pretty little place. It's Saturday morning and we're on the road heading out of Sandy Hollow back towards Stroud, where we hope to have breakfast. Had a good night at the pub last night, catching up with Jerome and Philip, and had some drinks on the back balcony. The meals were huge, so all in all it was a relaxing time and a good time to catch up with mates and have a bit of a yak. It's still pretty early in the morning, so one of the things we need to be aware of is the wildlife, because we've already seen a couple of wallabies scooting across in front of Phil, who's out leading the group. Always one of the joys of riding early morning in the Australian countryside. Riding through some of the mining areas right now, and the Gopro probably won't capture it all that well, but off to the right we can see the expanse of a huge mine, and it's all a bit eerie with a combination of dust rising up from the valley and some of the fog lingering as the sun burns it off. And off to the left we can see the huge conveyor belt that must carry coal to some sort of loading facility, and it's been on our left for quite some time now. When you look at these big coal mines, you can't help but wonder why some people then complain about the impact of wind farms and solar farms on the visual environment, because honestly, in terms of impact, they seem fairly minor compared to this kind of operation. It's a pretty run from Sandy Hollow through the Hunt Valley, making our way to Stroud. A mix of some open countryside and a few windy roads as well. The conditions for riding right now are perfect. The sun's got that little bit higher in the sky, so we're not riding straight into the sunlight, and the temperature's perfect and hardly a cloud in the sky. Wonderful time to go for a ride. The two BMWs are out in front. It's hard to tell them apart because they're identical, except for their mufflers apparently. Phil's running a stay tune. And the Suzuki's doing its thing, reliably hanging back and watching the scenery pass by. Got to admit, the GS is not a bad bit of kit, however, and I don't mind this blue, red and white livery that they've got on this particular model. Janine and I hired one of these for our trip last year in the UK, and it handled the two of us plus a whole bunch of gear going through Scotland and Ireland very comfortably, so I do have a bit of a soft spot for them, but the Vstrom is the Vstrom and it keeps on doing its thing just as well. Just riding through another cute little country village. We must be getting pretty close to Scone a bit now. The main street in Scone was closed for roadwork, so after riding around aimlessly a little bit, we found a lovely little cafe and had some breakfast and a cup of coffee, and now we're heading up over the Barrington Tops. So this is our first bit of dirt for the trip. None of us have been on this road before, so we're quite looking forward to seeing what it's like, and believe the countryside and some of the scenery will be amazing. Yes, I saw the little calf coming in on the right. Phil graciously doing gate duty for us. Thanks, Phil. I turned to ride out front for a while. At an earlier stop, Phil had been talking about the number of wallabies and things on the road, and I said that I hadn't seen any so far hanging back behind the other two. Well, he was right. When you're out in front, you see a lot more wallabies. Of course, we were riding over the Barrington Tops, so I expected we'd be going through mountains and that the gravel roads would be quite twisty and windy, and they were a little bit at the start. But now that we are sort of on the top of the Barrington Tops in the National Park, the road just goes dead straight in front of us for kilometres. I decided to stop and capture some footage of the two identical BMWs going along the gravel roads behind me. That's off to Phil. He's doing all these gravel roads on road tyres, and the front road tyre is getting pretty worn too. He'll be looking to replace it when he gets home.
So Phil and Jerome are swapping identical bikes to see how identical they are.
Well, we're off the gravel roads and heading on the tar towards the turn-off that will take us up towards Nowandock. At that point, we will separate from Jerome, and he's going to go ahead on to Gloucester and then start heading back towards Canberra. And Phil and I are going to head north, hoping to end up at Palmdale tonight. Last time I rode down from Walker through to Gloucester, I attempted to turn up this road and head along it west from the turn-off near Barrington, and I couldn't get through because the road was closed due to landslips after the rain. And the road surface at that time was shocking, all bumpy and potholey, so I really didn't expect this part of the gravel to be all that great, but they must have resurfaced it because it's fantastic. No, I sound a bit repetitive, but how good is it to be out and about on bikes on roads like this, on days like this? Just fantastic.
Alright, we've just turned onto the Thunderbolt Way. The road's heading on to Gloucester and turning on back down to Canberra.
The road surface on the Thunderbolt's Way has also improved a lot since last time I was on it. Discovering that the new larger foot pegs that I've installed on the Vstrom touch down a little bit on some of these sharp corners. Having a quick break at the lookout on the Thunderbolt's Way. Scenery is spectacular. A couple of guys pulled in after us on Harley Davidsons, and I didn't record them because I didn't have their permission, but listening to them talk, they were really excited about the run they'd had up the hill. Good to hear. We turned off and rode through now and got just a bit interested to see what the little village contained these days, and it's still pretty small, albeit very pleasant. And now we're taking a dirt road that neither Phil or I've been on that runs on parallel to the Thunderbolts Way, heading north towards Walker, and it comes out on the Oxley Highway east of Walker.
So here we are, leaving Walker after a lovely lunch at the Royal Cafe, heading towards Uralla. So we're going to take the road from Uralla up towards Bondara and then swing back in towards Armidale. The narrowest hard road I've ever been on in my whole life. It's like riding on someone else's driveway.
Slight change of plan. Instead of heading out towards Bundara from Uralla, we decided to head east and go along a road that goes to Dayton's Gorge, I think it is, and then continues north and comes into Armidale from the southeast. Once again, neither of us have been on this road, so interested to see what it's like. Hi folks, it's Sunday morning. We overnighted at Armidale, had an interesting night at our motel with a couple next door getting quite loud and quite dramatic, but we managed to watch the footy, the girls' footy, and also a bit of the Grand Prix sprint race, so that was great, and had a lovely pizza. It's early in the morning and we've headed out east, gone through Ebor, and now we're heading north on a road that we hope will take us through some forestry tracks and up into Dalmore. It was pretty chilly leaving Armidale this morning. The temperature was about 4 or 5 degrees, but it's starting to warm up a little bit now, and it's going to be a glorious day for a ride. Probably going to be a little bit hot in the last part of the ride as we separate at Grafton and head north. Phil heading back to Quongla, and me heading up the highway towards Ballina. But let's enjoy the day while we can.
We're at the turn off from the Harden Road to the Chalundi Road, I don't know how you pronounce it, and Phil had a bit of a close call with a four-wheel drive, but yeah, very lovely morning for a ride.
There's absolutely no breeze this morning, and there's quite a lot of fine dust on this road, as you can see from the camera shots. So hanging back a bit from Phil so that I can maintain my vision. Riding into the sun and through the dust is a little more challenging than I would prefer. All part of the adventure, however.
So here at a little bit of a path off the road towards Dalmorton, and hoping we'll walk through here, get a fairly good view across the valley. Oh, look at this. This promises to be spectacular. What a great place. What a great morning. Check this out. Still see remnants of the bushfires from a few years ago. But things are starting to recover. Hopefully don't get smashed this summer. Oh, better head back to the bike and see if I can catch up with Phil. Look at that grass tree. Amazing.
I don't think I can capture it on the GoPro, but off to my right is the first signs of the valley and campground near Dalmorton. I think I'll go and have a bit of a sticky beak around this campground. I've never actually been into the Dalmorton campground. Wonder what it's like. Well, I didn't have to worry about disturbing anybody. The campground was absolutely empty. I guess the school holidays finished not so long ago, but still surprised to see no one camping here at all.
Well, we've reached Dalmorton. Phil's parked his bike very artistically. I didn't have the energy and I've just parked it on the side of the road. He wants me to go down and play in the stones, but I'm telling him he's got to be joking. Quoting from the castle.
You've got the tyres.
Yeah, just not the skill. A little oasis in what's a pretty dry valley at the moment.
We're heading out of Dalmorton now towards Grafton. Probably about another 20 k's of gravel roads ahead of us, I think, and then the final section in Grafton is tar. It's definitely starting to warm up. It's going to be a hot afternoon. I've been up and down this section of road a couple of times in the last month, having never ridden up it before that, and I've got to say at the moment it's up there as one of my favourite bits of road. Phil wanted me to play in the river rocks or gravel, so let's see how I go. All good, a little bit of fun. Coming back into Grafton from the west this time, and once again the jacarandas are putting on an amazing display ahead of the Jacaranda Festival.
There's Phil heading off. And fire up the Vstrom and head north.
Heading out of Grafton now, and the temperature's crept up to about 33 degrees. Pretty warm. I've just come into the little town of Ulmarra and thought I'd turn off the highway and have a bit of a look around. It's been a while since I've had a look in here. The little town was damaged a bit by the floods, and they've done a lot of work around the pub and in the centre of the town.
Gorgeous little spot. All those beautiful old buildings.
This path on the left is new or been refurbished. I don't remember having seen it before, but it looks like a terrific place to spend some time on a lovely day like today. The temperature has continued to climb. It's about 34 degrees. So when I get to Tynedale, I think I'll turn left and follow the old highway along the riverside up until McLean. It's a bit more scenic and it tends to be a little bit cooler, particularly with the wind blowing from the northwest across the water. Gee, this is a nice old car on the trailer up ahead of me. I'd love to have an old car in the garage, but too many toys already. Well, just coming into Ballina now. Stopped at the service centre and filled the bike up with fuel so I can put it away with a full tank.
Unpacking the Vstrom before I put her in the shed. Probably give her a quick hose down in a little while just to get rid of the worst of the dust, and then I'll spend some time tomorrow cleaning her up properly. But she's shown evidence of some of the great roads that we've been on this weekend.
Thanks Phil for organising this ride, and thanks Jerome from coming up from Canberra. It's always great to catch up with mates and spend some time on the road. To those of you that are watching this video, if you like it, click like at the end. That would be appreciated. Ride safe.